how you're picturing what you're doing, being, and are you happy at it? Is it satisfying to you? If it is, continue, expand on it. But if it isn't, drop it immediately, because it, like I said, is drawing to itself like energy, and it'll expand and expand in your world, just like good will expand and expand in your world, because you're given choice. You were given choose. That's what you're told. Choose this day. And you're doing so aware or unaware. All we're telling you is just be more aware, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I like that you brought about the point that whatever it is, it's a seed. So a thought is a seed. And whatever thought you're entertaining, once that seed is sown, it expands and it brings friends. So be mindful. And you said also that that's good or bad, so no matter what the thought is, if you're giving it your attention, it's going to expand.
Yeah, you can say good or otherwise.
Yeah,
See, well, we're not actually pointing out anything as bad, because
absolutely.
all the experiences of life were necessary to be fulfilled. And although you may not be enjoying what you're experiencing at the moment, but you know, it'll just be a moment if you let it be, if you won't bond with it. Because see, that's what people have. That's what people do. They bond with it. They won't let it go. You're told, let go and let God. Let it go. If it's bugging you, if it's upsetting you, if it's bothering you, if it's worrying you, let it go. Just can't you turn to a better idea? I mean, I mean, oh, just look around. Oh, I think I'll get a new chair for over there. And I did change things around in here quite a bit. They got a lot more shelf space. I
Hey,
mean,
I may have to come over
yes.
and I may have to make another visit then so I can see the new setup. Hey, listen, go ahead. I want.
I'll tell you, these wires.
Yeah, yeah.
they, I get down there and I get kind of worrisome about all these wires. But I got it all put together. Sooner or later, it took a little while. You have to try a button here and a button there and say, no, no, not that one, this one, this. But you get it straight after a while. All you have to do is be persistent.
Yeah.
Be persistent, be consistent. I mean, set aside the time to set in the silence, feel after him, and at him, you're feeling after yourself. Feel after him, and you'll find him in the position that you desire to be in, not what you don't want to desire to be in, because the vision has its appointed hour. What are you envisioning? A problem? Better prepare for it, because it's coming. That's all there is to it. But then just flip it around, and the good comes to you just the same way. Attitude, attitude, attitude. People don't understand their own attitude. Well, actually, like me, once you start actually examining self, you find a lot of things that really aren't really don't fit you.
Yeah.
But why do you have them? Where did you get them? See, that takes up your time thinking about it. Just stop it. Just drop it. Turn to a better idea. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, so does he, so has he, on and on throughout the stories of scripture, as you think you are.
Absolutely. I want to go back to something you said because it was so profound and it was beneficial to me. So I want to bring it back. I said, good or evil. And you paused and you said, instead of saying evil, let's say otherwise. And what came to mind for me was the story of Joseph. And he told his brothers, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. And that's the problem with judging things from the tree of good and evil. When we start calling things evil, we don't have the whole story. So the thing that we think that's evil all of a sudden turns out to be the thing that opened up the door to our abundance, our good, our transformation. And we had no clue, but we were so preoccupied with judging it as evil. So I appreciate that you brought me back and you said, listen, let's not call it evil. Let's say good or otherwise.
And that's what I needed, an awful big territory. Look, I'll tell you, once you start this self-examination stuff,
Yeah.
because actually we've been told down through the ages that, if you don't do this, you're denying yourself rights that you've had all along, but you don't recognize them. But and that's what we're getting you to do, to recognize that you do have the power, operating the power, morning, noon, and night, going where with it? Because it'll go anywhere. See, whatsoever is the potential, but it stays potential until you step in and choose. See, it's wide open. Whatsoever, you're told, choose this day whatsoever. That's the potential. But it stays potential until you choose it. And to choose it, you have to move in and think from it as being so. I am that. And that's what happens. You get you build up your confidence to stand the ground. See, you have to have confidence to stand when someone else is in charge. You see, you let go and you let God. He can handle whatever. Jesus said it. I of myself can do nothing. The Father within, he does all the work. Well, the same with you. He says, I'm with you always. I mean, I and my Father are one, even as you and I are one, 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 one. See? And how are you called? One by one, right? Not with a party, one by one. Oh, you say, well, there was 20 died in that crash. Well, yeah, but they're still called one by one. We're not going in groups. I think it was Frank. Can't think of his name right now. But anyway, what he was saying was that if I had to go to heaven with a group, I wouldn't go. I mean, really, that sounds like a comical statement, but actually, it's true. You're called one by one. No one goes with you. And I'll tell you something else. There's nothing transforming in death. It says so right in scripture. There's nothing transforming in death. See, because that's because you didn't die, the body died. And actually, like my wife says, I can see it dying daily. I don't, no. That's not the approach, really. You think you got plenty of wrinkles today, boy, wait till tomorrow now. Oh yeah. You hear people say things, you just know, oh God, he only knew what he was saying. You know,
Yeah.
he because hey, God already said yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like he said, you receive not because you ask not. Well, start asking.
Yeah.
But how are you asking? See, a lot of people go to pray and they're whining and crying and begging and pleading and making deals with God. If you do this, I'll do that. And what is that? That's like a Burt Reynolds thing. You remember that? The closer he got to shore, his 90% went down to 10. I doubt if he ever got that. But it's all about attitude. I mean, you can stroll through because he told you, fear not. What are you going to be afraid of? The end of all of it is me, God. That's what it says. He says, I'm God. And the end of it, there's only Jesus Christ, and we shall be like him. Perfect man. So you get to be perfect in the end, but how long does it take you to get to the end? That's the problem. You're out here fluttering around here. But you, in other words, you're accomplishing. But what? What are you accomplishing? You know, it's like the down the street. What are they accomplishing? Getting noticed? As what? I'll just leave it to you. It's all about our attitudes. Really, when you get down to it, it's all about our attitudes. And do you really know your attitudes, or have you kind of give a wink at the eye or something? Uh, we do have attitudes, that's for sure, and we probably got a pretty mixed bag of them. But the idea is, it's not to let them rain on your life. It's just not worthy. It's not something that's acceptable. But you don't realize it's not acceptable until you're experiencing, and then you argue and worry about it not working for you, and then you get more not working for you, because all things produce after their own kind. Is that it?
That's it. That's it. You were talking earlier and you told him, you said, listen, we're given to choose, but the secret of choosing is to move in and to think from. So you said there's only one power, and God is in you as you. You said that Jesus made mention and said that I and the Father are one, and apart from God, I can do nothing. You said, well, if Jesus can't do anything, then how much more us? But the doing that God is doing, He's doing as us, through us.
And the only difference is he gave us the guy. We're the one choosing the route.
Absolutely.
See, he's going along as the power, because if God didn't do it, it wasn't done, because he's the only power.
Absolutely.
But he did give you to choose what you want, and he uses his power to make it so. But you're choosing all the time. See, that's what you want to remember. You're choosing all the time. Every word must be accounted for. See, if they're going to count every word, it, it gets kind of serious, because you think, like the guy said, "Oh God, what did I say? What did I do?" Well, yeah. What did you say? Are you doing? That's exactly the point. What you're saying is what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
if you want lovely and a good report, well, what are you thinking about? Just ask yourself, what are you thinking about? Well, why am I thinking about this? Is this leading me where I want to go? And if not, why? Why spend the energy thinking about something, feeling, giving, feeding the very thing I don't want? Why are we doing that? Well, we are doing it. If you're suffering it, then you're doing it, aren't you?
Absolutely. And it goes back to what you just said a moment ago. What we're saying is what we're doing. So if we're suffering it, that means that we're saying it, or at least thinking it.
Yeah, well, thinking is talking to yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, there are times that people think they hear voices, but they do. They hear their own voice.
Yeah.
I mean, who's talking to you? He's talking to you from in here.
Yeah.
He's not talking to you from out there. He's in here, right here. I'm with you always. I will never leave you. Right here. If you want to talk to me, just go into silence and sit down and be still, and know that I'm God, and we'll what talk away. I'll be right there with you. And he said he would be, and there he was. He's always said, yes, I'm right here. I'm waiting. Where are you? You think you got a problem? You got a problem if you got a problem, because you got the problem because you're thinking it a problem. You say, well, yeah, but it wasn't, it didn't come up to me from people out there. Yeah, okay. But did you sign something? Yeah. You see, you signed something. You see, you're making decisions all the time, but are you aware of the decisions you're making? You're saying, well, that's not we all, so yeah, but it's all of that, isn't that taken into consideration also?
Absolutely.
Every word of that is taken,
All of it. All of it.
everything.
Yeah.
So be aware, be warned. You know, people talk about, oh, so it says the fear of God is his beginning wisdom. The fear of God is knowing that he gave you his word, and that's what you're using. Use it wisely. That's it, isn't it?
It is it. It is it. You had asked the question about the choosing. People said that you know, about idle thoughts, and then we went into the fear of God. But the gift is the choosing, and He's given that gift of choice to each and every one of us, and it's up to us to determine what it is that we give our attention to. God's not going to push you one way or the other way. He's going to allow you to choose. And I like that you said it earlier, and I'll say it again. God is always saying yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He loves us.
Yeah.
What is he going to say no about? Why would he want to punish us? I mean, we're doing a good job of that ourselves. I mean, I mean, you ask anyway, this is hell, you know. Well, actually, you do go through those thoughts, those stages, but you can go through them. Now, I mean, there's nothing, all denial is self-denial. You're only denying yourself. And what are you denying yourself? A start. That's all everybody's denying themselves is a start. If you start it, you finish it. But you got to be consistent. You got to be persistent. You look, it's not about worthiness. It's about willingness. If it were about worthiness, we'd both be worried, wouldn't we?
We would.
So it's not about worthiness. It's about willingness. Are you willing to spend the time? Not spend, invest the time. Because spending your time is what you've been doing. And you got the results of it. Do you like it? If you don't, invest it. You invest. Life is an investment. You're investing your life in your life. You are your own maker. You're making yourself what you are by what you think you are. Can you say it simpler?
Yeah, you often said we ourselves are makers of ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was who said that?
I'm still trying to figure. I think James Allen, but don't quote me on that. I think James Allen, the author, James Allen, as a man thinks,
Yeah,
Arthur.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, God said it too.
Oh, absolutely. If he said it through James Allen, he said it.
Well, yeah, right. Well, but I mean, God even said it himself. He says, "As a man thinketh in his heart,
Oh,
so is."
absolutely. That's definitely God. That's
I
definitely.
mean, I mean, that's what you're doing. That's what you're having. That's what you're being. What you're saying.
Yeah,
And if you want different, well, start saying different
yeah.
because that's what choosing this day is, isn't it?
It is.
Choosing, choose it. You why they must not believe that their say has any value.
I don't think so. I don't. I think that we've trivialized it for so long that we've told ourselves that I can say anything, and of course, it doesn't bring about a result. But you and I both know that that's not the case. It goes back to what we just stated: as a man thinks in his heart. Be it according to your faith. I can give you a whole list of scriptures that verify your say is a valid say.
Yeah, and people tell me all the time, "Oh, is this that faith thing again?" Yeah, it is. It is. That's what it is. It is the faith thing. I get questions that I don't believe in this day and age, but I mean that they haven't even come up that far. Varying degrees of intensity and intense, we all are asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, on this level, as long as you got this body, we're all asleep. But you're given to awaken.
Yeah.
But that you see that's your work. You see, you have to prod yourself. God's not. He already gave you choose. So, as far as he's concerned, it's all on automatic now. Whatever you get, that you got because that's what you thought you got, and you got it. Just remember, attitude awareness and imaginational control is just that. You can stroll through. If you got your imagination under control, in other words, what we were told, think only on things that are lovely and of good report. Well, there you are. That's what you'll be experiencing. That's what you'll be doing. Why wouldn't you at least give it a go? I mean, get up and swing. Come on. It's like the guy said, sitting on the bench, get up and give it a swing. I mean, come on. You got if you want something, you have to ask. And that's what you're told, that you receive not because you choose not. Or you're asking amiss. And asking amiss is what 99% of the people of the planet are doing. Asking amiss for what they don't want, because that's what's on their mind, what they don't want. And that's what they're exciting themselves with. If I don't know if that you call it excitement, but it's as you think you are. If you get that straight, the rest of it just falls into place. You're given, already given. It's not about being good or because nobody is. Yeah. Scripture states it right off. Not one's perfect. Not one is made it. But it's all by grace. But you have to accept the grace, right? I mean, it's offered, isn't it?
It is.
If it's offered, well, why don't you accept it? I give you these gifts. Worshiping God, we're told, is using his gifts. So I would assume that if you already have them. I mean, you do. As a matter of fact, everyone has the gifts. The only difference is, do you recognize them? You see, in retrospect, yeah, we can talk about it in retrospect. Yeah, we can see where we were and how we got to where we are just by changing our mind. That did it all, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Did you get any help from anybody else other than that? No. No, you didn't. Oh, yeah, we heard things that were read and things we heard by the hearing of the ear. That's information. You have the information, but what are you doing with the information? See, that's the difference that makes the difference, isn't it?
It is. Comes back to that doing. And scripture says at one point, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So we're given salvation, but we're to work it out. So we can go back to what Dr. Joseph Murphy said, salvation is whatever it is that you desire at the moment.
Fear and trembling. See, we're being told that's what we're doing. We're living in fear and trembling. Why? Yeah. You're told very simply that if a man would order his conversations aright, he would be shown salvation. Yeah. What else would you want to be shown but salvation? And you're told how to do it right there. If a man would order, male, female, matey, them, man, or every child born of woman, if you'll only focus to keep your mindset on what it is you desire, not doubting it. Because you see, that's where we all fall off the horse. We doubt we have the balance to stay on, so we fall off. But we do have the balance to stay on. But it's being persistent and being consistent. It's choosing, because if you're not choosing, you're going to be chosen for. I mean, it's tell me that's wrong. I mean, really, you either choose or you're chosen for. Isn't that right?
That's it. No way around it.
And even when you are choosing, you're probably doing the same thing to yourself anyway, if you're not paying attention. You see, what has your attention has your life. I mean, I know I say that all the time, but there it is. It's the truth, isn't it?
It is the truth.
And if I'm repeating the truth, that's beneficial, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, soak it up. It's tough to be aware.
It is, but you talked about mindset. You said, listen, persist. Whatever it is that you're persisting in, that's what you're bringing about in your world. So if you listen to what Mr. Lindell is saying, if you persist in whatever the mindset, you're going to manifest it. If it's abundance, you're going to manifest it. If it's a relationship, you're going to manifest it. If it's health, if you persist in that mindset, you're going to manifest it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing of it is, if it's a negative, you can get a crowd around you agreeing with you, justifying with you. See, and that's the reason why it's so easy. Yeah. But to stand alone, you see, that that takes some doing,
Yeah.
because I mean, against all,
Yeah.
you see, because everybody has a complaint about something, and you talking about this is complaint enough to get most people upset. But actually, it's their own future.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a new future. If you're not enjoying the one you're working at the moment, choose a new one. But see, that's the reason why most people don't really pray right, because they don't even know what they want. So how would you know what to pray for if you don't even know what you want? And so you wind up just whining and crying about what's happening to you, and then all you do is you get more of what's happening to you, and then you go back and cry even harder the next time. Yeah, look, God says, ask, ask. Is it simple enough?
It
They
is.
say, why don't he make it simple? You're told, ask. And actually, you are asking, but are you getting what you want? You see, you're always being served. But is it a cold meal or is it a warm meal? It's always up to you, positive or negative. You got a choice. You always have a choice, this way or this way. Today, it's always today. And you're told, choose this day. And you are choosing this day because you're on all the time. Well, are you enjoying what you're doing? I mean, that's, you got to keep asking yourself, am I really enjoying life, or am I just living life, being alive, not enjoying life? But you were given right off the bat, choose this day, and you're doing so. But what are you choosing? What you're operating from, what you're experiencing, that's what you're choosing. And you say, well, how do you know that? Because you're experiencing it. That's how I know it. Because if you're experiencing, well, then it's yours. You just got to watch what you're saying. See, that's the fear and trembling. What am I saying? God, what am I doing? Oh, you know, that's what you are to be. If you're going to be afraid of something, be
That's it.
afraid of that, right?
That's it. That's absolutely, that is the fear and trembling of what it is that we're giving our attention to. And I hate to say it, sir, but in winding down, what would you say to the listeners as far as the work of salvation or the fear and the trembling? Like you said, in saying that statement there, that's the fear and trembling. What is it that you're giving your attention to? When you discover that, that's going to transform your world.
You see, sitting here, it has my 100% attention. But when I get up and walk out there, other things are going to get my attention. Now, can I still stay the course? See, that's what you want to know. Can I still stay? Yeah, you can. You're given to do so. In fact, you're told to do so. And if God told you to do it, why are you questioning it? Why would you question what God tells you to do? Yeah, and if you're questioning it, then you don't believe him. Well, is he going to give you something to do to hurt yourself? No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, you do that quite well yourself. So he doesn't need to bother with that. Really, there's really no punishment.
No.
There isn't.
Self, self punishment.
Except maybe time slot after time slot after time slot after time slot, the same story over and over. Yeah, you'll get it sooner or later down the line somewhere. But why wait? As Neville would say, why get more knocks and blocks? Start right now. Well, why would you wait? Wait for what? What are you waiting for? I don't know. I don't know what I was waiting for, but I was waiting. But then when the waiting was over, it was great. Attitude, attitude, attitude. That's all you need. Just a great attitude. You stroll through. You get
And
a negative attitude.
yeah, absolutely. And we'll end on attitude.
Okay.
All right, sir. It's been a great one.
Yes, it has. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
People just want to know what you did to be successful.
The 4 CDs that I have out there, it's all there. If you took any one of the CDs and actually followed through on what you understood there, you could change your mind, change your world. All you have to do is just listen to the CDs. It's always reiteration and reiteration.
I want to go back to the 4 CD set. Go to metaphysicalarttheater.com. We can only mail in the U.S. right now, but for those who are outside the U.S., we can send you a digital bundle with everything, so you'll get the enjoyment without waiting for it in the mail. Matter of fact, those who are in the U.S., if you would rather have the digital copies, we can do that as well. metaphysicalarttheater.com.